All right, guys. So this has broke today. It's here February 18th at 4:34 p.m. When this article came out from CBS News. You can Google that headline to find it, or go to CBS's news site and find it, or you can find various other articles. But it says judge won't block Musk and DOGE from accessing data, making cuts at 7 federal agencies. Now, there are some important things to understand here because I know this is not what everybody wanted. I understand that this is not the outcome we wanted right here, but there's a specific reason why this did not go through, and I'm going to explain that here. So, the federal judge, which was Tanya Chutkin, which is an Obama era appointed judge, and before all the Republicans start like screaming and hollering in celebration because they're like they're on a side, that's not the case here. So they have to work within the scope of law. That's how it works with legalities of everything. They have to work in the scope of law. In this case, basically, she admits that she understands that what Musk is doing is very dangerous. It's very broad. It's overreaching. But that's not the case that 14 states brought to her. That's not the case they presented. They specifically presented that it was damaging to the states. But in that, they failed to show what damage it's doing to the states as a direct result. Because what Musk is doing is causing federal issues that, yes, while it does have an effect on the state, it's not directly doing it. And also, there's constitutional provisions that need to be addressed that are not being brought up by the states, right? So this essentially reads to me that Congress needs to be acting on these things, and they're not. The states were trying to make a push, but it was too broad, and it didn't show anything that was causing direct issue that they would get remedy for it. So in the article. So she did write a 10-page decision outlining that she understands their complaints. The judge understands their complaints, understands what's going on, but unfortunately for something to stick legally, because you have to remember, this can be appealed. Let's say she upheld it. It's going to get appealed by the Supreme Court and it's going to get struck down, and that can make things worse. So this judge is insulating us so that way when they do finally get something that's of proper use and in the right direction, it can't just be struck down by Supreme Court or be appealed away. So that's what's important here. You have to do things properly with legal stuff. If you don't, it comes back to bite you. Ask any lawyer. I'd like to hear Hawk's opinion on this, because it's very complex. People don't understand how complex law is. I'm not a lawyer, but I do understand a little more, I feel, than the average person when it comes to law, because I've been in many situations where I've had to learn to do things the proper way because of the fact that just running through real quick ruins more than it helps. So this is not just an end-all defeat. It does cause some problems because Musk is going to continue to do what he's doing, but this really directs the states to start looking for things that is directly affecting and pinpoint their case. In my opinion, they should have gone after smaller bits here and there. I know they're trying to get an all-encapsulating win, but in doing so, what they're going to end up doing is they're going to end up sabotaging their entire effort, like they have here. Luckily, the judge did this in a way that it doesn't completely throw any options out. It just tells them in a roundabout way, you guys need to be more focused and you need to bring more evidence of how it's affecting your state, specifically on the state level. Because as bad as this is to sound, guys, even if what DOGE is doing, which we know it is affecting federal aid, that is not directly a damage to the state caused in the state by Musk, right? Musk isn't going into the state and doing anything. He's doing stuff at the federal level under the guise of it being at the direction of the president. And that is the crux of the whole thing. I think that's the word for it. So anyway, feel free to leave your comments below. I'm going to continue to watch this. Don't let anybody tell you this is awful. And the problem is the scope of the case was never going to end to begin with. I didn't want to make content right away on this because I was waiting to see what happened. But I appreciate what the states were trying to do. I really do. But they need to be pushing the state representatives to do stuff in Congress, because that's where it's going to have to be done. The states aren't going to be able to do much unless there's specific things happening to the states. Like if Musk started running into each state and rooting through their courthouses and everything else, then the states would have cause to do something in this case. But this is a federal issue, and our elected representatives in federal positions need to be doing something about this. They're going to have to start playing hardball, and they're just not doing that yet. I think they're getting there. Hopefully they start, cranking it up, but that's where. Anyway, if you guys have questions, comments below, let me know. I'm going to try to tag Hawk in this. I can't talk. Anyways, thanks, guys. Do appreciate it.